A very good morning to all my dear friends. I am Prashant Mavani. I hope you all are doing good. Today is 26th October 2020. Day is Monday. I'm sure you all have enjoyed your weekend. Let's start our discussion with this line from a book called The 5 a.m. Club. There is a ton of competition at ordinary, but there is almost none at extraordinary. So, if you want to become extraordinary, then you have to give extraordinary inputs, right? Extraordinary efforts. You have to walk extra mile. You have to, do your hard work. That's the only way out. Those people who are just giving their ordinary efforts are 95%. So, competition is there, right? When you are producing ordinary products, competition is there. When you are producing something extraordinary, you have almost no competition. With this, dear friends, today is the last date of this offer, Navratri Sale, that is available on all our smart courses. So to make the most out of it, all you have to do is download our mobile application. You will get all information pertaining to Navratri Sale, pertaining to our smart courses on our mobile application. You can download the PDF of today's lecture from my Telegram channel. Please make sure that you hit the like button if you have learned something from today's discussion. Don't forget to share this lecture with other students, and please don't forget to subscribe our channel. If you have already subscribed, if you have already pressed that notification bell, then please make sure that you inform 3 more students about this series, that the Hindu analysis is available in English, as well as inform them about our channel too. On our table, we have 4 important articles. Now, today is a day off at Hindu office, so no Hindu newspaper is published today, but the show must go on. So I have 4 articles for you guys from different newspapers. The first one is on FATF and Pakistan. This one is from a newspaper called The Pioneer. Then we have 2 articles from Indian Express. One is about agriculture. The second one is about CM versus judiciary or CM versus judge. And the fourth one is balancing China. This one is from Times of India. So let's start our discussion on this one, Pakistan on grey list. Now, I'm sure you'd be aware about this news item that FATF has decided that Pakistan will stay in the grey list for now. Right? When a country is kept under blacklist, then that is a very severe punishment coming from FATF. But grey list is a bit softer compared to blacklist. Now, FATF, right? I have one question for you, but let me discuss this thing and then I will ask you this question. So, Financial Action Task Force, the main job or 2 areas in which Financial Action Task Force is active. The first one is money laundering and the second one is terror financing. Now, dear friends, you know it very well what terror financing is all about, right? Giving money to terrorist organizations and terrorists, and then you know what they can do. So that is terror financing, simple and short. The second one is money laundering. So money laundering is, the word laundry, right? So when we have stain on our cloth, what we do is we try to wash it by our hands or by our washing machine, and if the stains are still there, then there is only one option, that you give it to your laundry guy. So they apply some sort of chemical on it, and then they try to remove that stain from your expensive clothes. So removing stains is what we called an act of laundry. Money laundering is converting your black money into white money, making your illegal money legal. So how they do it? Let's say you have 100 crore rupees, right? Now, if you declare this amount, then you have to pay 30 crore tax, for example. So what you will have with you at the end of the day, 70 crore rupees. So you will give 30 crore rupees to the government, which you should do because you are making more than enough money, right? But grid has no limits, isn't it? So what people do is, not everyone, but some of them, or those who are engaged in money laundering, what they do is they will transfer this 100 crore rupees via Hawala to different. They have this whole channel. There are businesses, right? They are engaged in this whole money laundering thing, money laundering activities. So they will take 100 crore rupees from you, and then they will pass it to various different countries. It will pass through various different fake firms, and finally a fake firm will invest this money into your company, or it will give it to you, or it will purchase some property in which you want to sell, and things like that, So they will pass this money back to you, but they will not send you 100 crore rupees, right? They will give you 90 crore rupees, let's say. So they will charge 10 crore rupees for this whole process. Now, when you compare it with this thing, then you still save 20 crore rupees. So a 20 crore rupees profit for you, but 30 crore rupees loss for the government and for the nation. It's like double burden on those people who are paying their right amount of taxes, isn't it? So this is why money laundering is bad, and this money is used by terror financing as well. You never know, your whole process, out of that 10 crore rupees fee, organizations that they are passing through, this money is passing through, some of them could have affiliation with terrorist organizations. So you don't know, you are not doing it purposefully, but your money is used for killing someone. So this is something that is not acceptable, isn't it? So Financial Action Task Force is a global money laundering and terrorist financing watchdog. It will keep an eye on various different nations and organizations. So I hope this thing is clear to you. Very important point about FATF. Second thing, why Pakistan or any other country like Pakistan, why they are afraid of FATF? Because FATF has enough powers. FATF can disqualify nations from aid by World Bank and other global institutions. So no one will give you money. It's like, you are blacklisted by all the banks. So, and if you want to do business, you will need money. So you will not get money. And if you take it from private money lender, then that's going to be very expensive, isn't it? So in the same way, this action taken by FATF can create huge financial pressure on a particular country. Now, FATF has extended the deadline because of the pandemic, and which is a bit logical, I would say, right? Pakistan is also currently battling with this COVID-19, so extension of deadline is okay. But as far as results are concerned, I don't think so that Pakistan will take some serious action. It is just doing ordinary things, nothing extraordinary. Now, FATF gave 27-point action plan to Pakistan. So there were 27 items that should have this tick mark, right? But there are 6 important things that Pakistan has not done, or Pakistan has did nothing about the 6 key markers. And they have to address this. Pakistan has to sort the 6 markers by February 2021. So it has got another few months' time. It has purchased more time, you can say. Now, Pakistan has rarely gone beyond token compliance, as I have just told you, right? In August 2020, Pakistan came out with this list that Hafiz Saeed, Masood Azhar, Dawood Ibrahim, their organizations are banned and financial sanctions are implemented on them. But do you think that genuinely Pakistan will do anything about this Azhar and Hafiz, Masood Azhar and Hafiz Saeed and Dawood Ibrahim? And there are so many of them in Pakistan. The only thing is that we know just the 3 names, right? In India, these 3 names are famous. But there are so many of this type of people in Pakistan. So we all know that if you ban one NGO of Hafiz Saeed, then he will not stop his operation forever. He will just create another organization with different name. Today his organization's name is, let's say, ABC. He will create XYZ. If you close down XYZ, he will start 1, 2, 3 or 4, 5, 6 or whatever it is, So he will just keep changing name, registering new organization, and he will continue doing his activity. And if Pakistan feels like someone will, like just what USA did with Osama bin Laden, If Pakistan feels that someone can do a surgical strike on Masood Azhar or Dawood Ibrahim or Hafiz Saeed, then what they will do is they will imprison these people. So when you are behind the bars, it's nearly impossible to kill you. No one can reach you. And they are provided with all the luxuries and all the things that you were doing outside. You can do it from inside jail, right? You will get, means in fact, you will feel more protected. You will feel more calm because now you know that nothing wrong can take place, because you are at one of the safest place, and that is behind the bars in a jail. And the government is looking after you very well. So it's all, these activities are just for front. In reality, things are totally different in Pakistan. Now, for China has said this thing to FATF, that rather than blacklisting countries, what you need to do is you should help these countries. That is so nice of China, right? China is like a very sensitive country, and China is very much concerned about Pakistan. China is playing with a venomous snake. China has no idea at all. China is a country that believes in good terrorism and bad terrorism. And this is a matter of shame that a country like this, China, a big country, a country with huge amount of experience and everything, a country that is part of United Nations Security Council, permanent member, that country is having this sort of relationship with Pakistan, and it has no shame at all to say this thing to FATF, that rather than blacklisting nations, FATF should help them counter terrorist funding instead. How you can counter terrorist funding in a country like Pakistan, where the government and the army itself are nurturing these terrorist organizations and terrorists? How can anyone stop this thing? So the key takeaway from this discussion or this particular article is that we as a country, right, we should be vigilant. We cannot bank on FATF, right? FATF is a good thing, of course, and we want FATF to take the right action. We want to see Pakistan in blacklist because Pakistan has not stopped using this terror financing and money laundering and things like that. So yes, we would love to see FATF taking severe actions against Pakistan. But we cannot wait for that day. What we have to do is from today itself, and we have been doing it, but we have to make sure that we cannot rely on anyone else. When it comes to my security, I cannot rely on you. I have to look after myself. So as a country, we have to look after ourselves, right? We have to be vigilant. We have to be, as much alert as possible. And at the same time, simultaneously, we can work with various different organizations and countries to make sure that this money laundering as well as terror financing is not taking place. That's the best we can do. This article is about Punjab farm bills. Very interesting article. This article is written by Ashok Gulati. Ashok Gulati, sir, is one of the best I know. As far as I know, as in my opinion, he is the best person when it comes to agricultural topics. So this article is printed in today's Indian Express newspaper, and you know it very well that recently Punjab government has passed some farm bills, and these farm bills are to nullify the farm bills or the implementation of central laws in the state of Punjab. Other states, Congress states, are going to do the same. So we know this thing that president will not give a green signal. So what happens is, if your state government passes, or legislative assembly passes a bill, it goes to the governor, and if governor is not happy with it, then the governor can send it to the president, and we know it very well that president is not going to give his green signal on these bills by Punjab Legislative Assembly. So the big question is that these bills passed by Punjab government, or not government, Punjab Assembly, right? Are they inclined, or are they about economics? Are they about our farmers, or are they about politics? Let me make it clear to you that 90% is politics and 10% is economics. Okay, I'm not being very blunt here. If I be blunt, then I would say 100% it is politics. Now I have to prove it as well why I'm saying this thing. If you go through this article, then you will find that Punjab's farm bills prohibit private players from buying wheat, pay attention, buying wheat and paddy below the MSP, that is minimum support price, even outside the APMC markets. So this latest bills by Punjab government says that you cannot buy wheat and paddy outside APMC, even outside APMC. So when it comes to APMC, of course, you must get a minimum support price. And if you're buying it from other places, then as well, it should not be below MSP. If you purchase it below MSP, then you can be thrown behind the bars for 3 years. Now the point is, why just wheat and paddy only? There are other crops like maize, cotton, pulses, oilseeds that are under the ambit of central minimum support price system. And why don't you extend it, this MSP, to milk and vegetables by declaring local MSPs, like local in the sense your state level MSP? You should be doing this thing, but why you are not doing it, and why you are just keeping wheat and paddy? The reality is that FCI, that is Food Corporation of India, so eventually central government buys more than 95% of Punjab's wheat and paddy at MSP. So here, when Punjab government is saying, or when Punjab CM as well as his party and his MLAs, if they are saying that this bill is going to be harmful for the central law is going to be harmful for farmers, then I don't understand on what basis they are saying this thing. Because clearly 95% of Punjab's wheat and paddy are purchased by FCI by giving MSP. So farmers are not making any loss here. The second thing is, why you have just included wheat and paddy? If you are genuinely concerned about farmers, then why don't you include all these things in part of your MSP system? And why don't you include milk and vegetables as well? By doing this, you will, provide 100% or more likely a thorough shield to farmers in your state. The reality is that the main uproar is going on because the state government and this Arthias, this middleman, they are going to lose in total 5,000 crore rupees per year. The state government earns 3,500 crore rupees from APMC, and the Arthias earn 1,500 crore rupees annually. So they are not going to get this money anymore. So this is the reason why they are not happy with it. The second thing, in October 1972, Indira Gandhi announced an important agri-marketing policy step that the wholesale trade in wheat and paddy will be taken over by the government. And this was a bad decision by Indira Gandhi ji. But next year, she was forced to drop it. Now, I'm talking about 1972. Remember 1971, India won a war against Pakistan. So at that point of time, Indira Gandhi was one of the most famous leader in our country. But then as well, her party and her decision was under pressure. Then later on, P.V. Narasimha Rao came out with this LPG reforms, liberalization, privatization, globalization. Remember 1991 reforms. Big things took place, or big changes took place, big reforms. And this is one of the most remarkable milestone in the history of our economy, 1991. But unfortunately, this 1991 reform missed one thing, and that is agricultural reforms. They are not part of this 1991 reforms. And then came Atal Bihari Vajpayee government. They did something about it, but then For 10 years, from 2004 to 14, UPA government did not pursue any major agri-marketing reforms. So when Modi government came to power, it constituted this Shanta Kumar committee, high-level committee. And the Shanta Kumar committee came out with some extraordinary recommendations like including cash transfers in the public distribution system and overhauling the FCI's operations with a good dose of free markets to make the system more efficient. But the Modi government was not that much confident or brave enough to implement these reforms. But then came this COVID-19 crisis, and this provided Modi government with a window of opportunity to reform the agri-marketing system. So it did what it must have done a few years ago. But anyway, these reforms were declared, and these reforms are equivalent to 1991 economic reforms. This is 1991 moment for agriculture, this latest reform. So we need to expand and explore it further, and we have to make sure that they are implemented thoroughly rather than opposing it. Moving on to next item, truth must come out. Now, dear friends, this one is about this case that we have already discussed. I'm going to be very brief here that, the matter, Jagan Mohan Reddy wrote a letter to CJI, and he is, alleging some serious things about Justice N.V. Ramanna. Now, N.V. Ramanna is senior most judge after the CJI, and he's going to be the next CJI of our country. So this is a big allegation. Now, Supreme Court Bar Association is not happy with it, but the Dushyant Dave, the head of the Supreme Court Bar Association, said that whether it is right or wrong, one thing is clear, that there should be an inquiry on it, because this is not just about judiciary. It is also about the reputation of Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, right? One constitutional functionary is saying something about another constitutional functionary, then of course we need a thorough investigation. It is also said that a month ago, Justice Ramanna has delivered a judgment in which he passed directions including a request to the Chief Justices of the High Courts to head special benches to immediately hear criminal cases against MPs and MLAs which are pending for decades. And it is said that this is one of the reasons why Jagan Reddy is not happy with Ramanna. But we don't know yet, right? For that, what we need is a thorough investigation, and everything should be transparent. And so far, CJI has not taken any action on this thing. But remember, when just 2 tweets by Prashant Bhushan started a proceeding against him, then this is even more serious. So let's hope that CJI will do something about it, and we need to see what is right and what is wrong, and that is possible only by a thorough investigation. Again, this one, a very important yet very simple topic. The reason why it is simple, because we have talked about 2+2 earlier on as well. So 2+2 is a format in which you find Defense Minister of India and Foreign Minister of India meeting with the Defense Minister of USA and Foreign Minister of USA. So that's how it works, right? This 2+2. So this is going to be a good opportunity for both nations to coordinate their strategies, and the next month's upcoming, not next month, but I think the upcoming Malabar exercise, I think it is going to take place this month itself. I'm not sure about the date, but the most important thing is full quad navies, right? I mean to say Australian Navy, US Navy, then Japanese Navy, and Indian Navy. All together, all part of this 4 quad nations, they are going to conduct military naval exercise in Andaman Nicobar as well as Bay of Bengal area. So that is going to be a big red flag for China. Now what China wants to achieve is China wants to kick out USA from top table, and it wants to create New Delhi or India as its subordinate country, but we are not going to accept that thing. Back in 1962, when we had this war with China, at that point of time, USA was in our side, and it has helped. It helped us by emanations and other things, and it looks like they are doing the same thing. What we need to do is we need to modernize our military, and USA can play a very important role in in modernizing our armed forces. And it is also said that both nations are going to sign this basic exchange and cooperation agreement. So this is again a big thing, because this is one of the most important pact that is not signed yet between both nations, and this will allow for expanded geospatial information sharing. So it's going to be win-win for both nations. So 2+2, so far we are here. Now we'll know more about it once this 2+2 meeting is over. So far we have talked about all important things. Last Saturday, remember, we talked about this thing that why India needs to negotiate, what are the things that India should demand, and today we are talking about China. So once this is over, then we will know more about it, and we will talk about it when we find this topic next time. And that's basically everything from my side. Thank you very much for watching this video. Dear friends, you can download the PDF and go through this news items, and I will see you with daily financial news analysis. Till then, enjoy your studies. God bless you all. Jai Hind.